Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Lips. It's your girl, Miss Mouthy, and welcome back to the Miss Mouthy podcast. If it's your first time tuning in, you have stumbled upon the Miss Mouthy podcast. This podcast is in its fifth season, and this season is all about resistance and, um, yeah, just going against the grain. And so, I am based in Detroit, Michigan. And then, if you're a returning set of lips, hey, Lips. Thank you for coming back another week to pop your stuff with your girl. And I wanted to entitle this episode The Voice Within because it really helped me think about a moment in my time before my transition when I was just thinking about my voice. Everybody around me was always pointed out, and I learned when I was younger I didn't really want to talk because I was so afraid of the comments I would get about my voice being effeminate and like, why do you talk like this? Why do you talk like a girl? And so I tried to shrink myself, but you never really stop wanting to talk. Like we talk to each other or talk to ourselves in our head. So it's like that voice is never going to go away. So I had an expert come and talk to y'all, someone who I think is absolutely going to put a different spin on the voice within because they have so much expertise around this type of topic. And so most of the time with trans folks in this experience, we either are trying to find our voice to speak up about who we truly want to be, or we then decide who we are and we want that voice to sometimes match how we look on the outside. And so we have someone who graduated from the prestigious Berklee College of Music. Jimmy has been working in the trans community for 5+ years, helping more than 400 students achieve their real voice. He has worked for a leading trans voice school in Seattle, the Voice Lab, and developed his own technique called functionality voice training, which is a therapeutic method on expanding the functionality of a student's voice. So, special guest, can you come back? Hi.
Hi, Miss Mouthy. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for coming on. So, introduce yourself to the lips and let them know who you are.
Hey, Lips. So, my name is Jimmy. I am the founder of Trans Voice Lab, a school that helps the trans community to find the voice that resonate with themselves. So, the method that we use is called functional training, which basically students learn how to access the different parts of their voices. Now, what's very, very unique about our voices is that the voice is already within you. When
Mhm.
you're taking voice lessons, you're not changing the structure of your voice. You're not changing the physicality of your voice. It's already there, but it's a matter of how we use it. So, in lessons, we basically kind of explore that. But I have some really big news because I am actually publishing a book which is coming out on April 25th with all of the knowledge that I have, gathered and, kind of learned so that I can share with all of you guys on how to unlock that voice that is already in there.
Yes, and that's a big accomplishment. So let me give you a okay.
Woo!
Yeah. So let me first ask you, was this some type of work that you kind of always had a passion about or something that you knew you wanted to do, or was it something in the midst of pursuing something else that you were like, wait, I think this needs more of my attention?
So, I absolutely stumbled upon this field.
Okay.
I went to music school because I wanted to be a superstar, and I still
Hey,
want to.
and you
Okay,
are.
it is still in the works. Okay, let's just put it that way.
Okay.
I by day I am a music teacher, a voice teacher, but by night I perform at nightclubs. I make dance music. So if
Wow.
you're interested in learning the music aspect of me, you can find me on Instagram uh, at it's Jimmy Chin. That's like a completely different world.
Period.
So I was basically I graduated from college around the before the pandemic. So I got into like real life, in to like, being an independent adult around when COVID kind of happened. And I needed to find an actual job that made money.
Okay.
So at that time I had been like a vocal coach, kind of, teaching students for a little bit. So I searched online and I
Mhm.
stumbled upon this kind of company that teaches gender affirming voice lessons. I didn't even know
Yeah,
this thing. I didn't know it was possible to even learn and change your gender expressions, which I think that there are probably a lot of viewers out there or listeners who maybe don't even know that that's actually a possibility. So that's why I'm so glad to be here to share about all of these knowledge. So yeah, I got hired and then I realized how cool the skills are,
yeah.
and the rest is just history. And now I'm the founder of Trans Voice Lab. We have almost 50K on TikTok,
I love that.
Instagram. I love the ding dang
Oh, yes, of course. We have to celebrate every moment. With all
every
that's going
moment.
on in the world, one, I wanna commend you for, offering up your ability to help, the trans community because we need all the resources and all the things that we can do, but one of the most vital parts of your transition, once you do get the medical side of it and you declare who you wanna be, is that you're going to be in communication, and not to even discount people or ableism, but our voices is very important, and a voice can either make somebody draw their attention to you or want to start bringing unwanted attention to you. And so that is so great. I guess my question now is for people like you said who may not even be aware of this. How could someone possibly start that service, or how long could they expect to be in training when it comes to their voice?
Yeah, so the reason why changing the gender expressions of our voices is possible without any intrusive kind of surgeries is because our voices is the result of culture and social trends,
Mm.
meaning that at whichever like kind of moment in history, whichever however our society kind of interpret what masculinity and femininity is
Yeah.
at that moment, that is how we express the gender expressions. Now
Mm.
what's very interesting is that the vocal folds, which is kind of in our neck where it actually makes the sound, doesn't actually have that big of a gender characteristics,
Mm.
meaning that if you actually compare a cisgender men's vocal folds versus a cisgender woman's vocal folds, it's very, very difficult to tell who is whose.
Wow, that's an interesting
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that means that it's not about what you're born with, although that matters just a tiny little bit, but it more so matters how you use it.
Mhm.
The best kind of analogy that I can think of is just because I give you Ariana Grande's vocal folds does not mean you're gonna sound like her.
That
It's
part.
mhm. Yes, it's how you use it. It's the technique. So it's absolutely possible. So going back to your question about how long is this going to take? Now, it really determines on a person's ability to function their voices, which is actually very, very simple. Everybody, you can do some of these tests right now. All right,
Okay,
Miss Mouthy, if you can do it
come on,
with me.
let's
All
go.
right.
You know I love it.
Okay, so the first test is, do you have the ability to slide your pitch up and then down? So like this. Ooh, you want to give it a try?
Woo!
Yeah. So if you have the ability to go through a wide range, that's really good. That means you have
Okay,
the ability to change your pitch. That's a function, right?
gotcha.
Now, the next thing is, do you have the ability to increase your volume? So let's try this. You're going to just on an ah, you're going to do ah and get louder.
Ah,
Very good. Now, the next one is, do you have the ability to go softer? Ah, like that.
ah.
Yeah, that's good. Good, good, good. So now the next one is one that requires you to kind of move your jaw, your lips. Do you have the ability to move them? So you're going to say gla, 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 but just move your lips and jaw very excessively. Give it a try.
Okay, Jimmy, I just need to change the words a little bit, but
Yeah.
guac, guac, guac.
Oh, okay. All right. We got the quacking sound here. That works too. Any movement counts. All right.
Thank you.
So these are the functions, right? The ability to function your voice, go loud, soft, high, low.
Love
Now,
it.
Miss Mouthy, I'm gonna congratulate you. You got the functions down.
Feng shui is functioning, okay?
Yeah, yes, the voice is functioning. The functions are functioning. Great.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
So if the functions are functioning, so that means that you already possess the abilities to change the gender expression of your voice. But it's just a matter of learning the exact kind of what to do, the ABC, and
Right.
being able to combine the ABCs together and coordinate, build the new habits. So, in my experience, if a student has the function, it usually takes no more than, let's say, 12 lessons
Okay.
to learn the theories, be able to do it. However, being able to do it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to achieve that quote unquote passing sound.
Mm,
Because passing, once again, the voice is an expression.
yeah.
There is a passing way of expressing,
Mhm,
right? That's more like spontaneous,
mhm.
or we can maybe call it natural, however way we like to describe it. However, and there's another way that maybe can be a little bit more unnatural, a little bit formulaic. It's like singing, right?
Mhm.
The good singers, they just do it. They can evoke emotions. That's
Right,
expressions. But then there are singers who are like, I know that you can sing. I know you got the technique, but you don't move my heart.
right.
So that's the difference.
Mm,
So, however, for other students who maybe when they do those tests, they don't have the ability to go high and low, go loud and soft. And Miss Mouthy,
yeah.
you will be very surprised. There's a good amount of population who don't have these fundamental foundations.
Okay.
So, yeah, so for students like those, then we actually have to take the time to build that ability first before we even do the gender affirming.
Yeah.
So I think the best way, I think, for people to understand this, learning our voices is kind of like learning a dance, like ballet. You
Yeah,
need to have the technique first
that's true.
before you can do the turns, the tendus, and the jumps, and the whatever. So for people who do not have those skills, then we need to build those skills. But
Yeah.
for people who already got the skills, then it's about learning the expressions. Yeah.
I love that so much, and I love that you actually said about the difference between both cis, folks in the vocal cords and impression, um, because I was thinking about people who may have had, the surgeries that would, put some type of strain, and like you said with singers, sometimes you can strain your vocal cords and, you might sound a little bit more raspy than most, and, like, even in that moment, it does not change, like you were saying, your voice is an expression, so I really love that you said that. What has been some things that you've seen with most trans students that come to you and they achieve their, their voice that they want to have from within?
I'm going to answer this question this way. I think a lot of students, what they are able to ultimately accomplish is that they're able to, I don't want to say overcome, but
Mhm.
they're able to finally uh, deal with their voice
Yeah.
dysphoria.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because dysphoria, it's very complex, and I don't want to, but kind of, I think it's going to take a lot of time to dissect exactly how. But one of the things that I have noticed when it comes to voice dysphoria is that the dysphoria is not necessarily rooted in the objective reality,
Mm.
meaning that a student, I literally had this student last week.
Okay.
He is femtomask.
Okay.
And he has been taking testosterone for 6 years. And he came to my lesson and he says that I think my voice is just so feminine. It's very high pitch. I want it to be lower. But this is his pitch. It's like
Mhm.
really low. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I had to tell him that, yeah, there's nothing I can teach you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got it.
Yeah, like, uh, yeah, you like your voice is as passing as it can be. Your voice is lower than mine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then he started crying
Oh.
because he said that, "Wow, I have been, like, torturing myself over
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
voice, and I've been doom scrolling on TikTok,
Mhm.
trying to find different tutorials and whatever." And then so yeah, sometimes, maybe it's just as easy as, yeah, maybe the voice is already there.
Mhm.
Maybe you don't have to work on it. But then for some other students, it may be that they think, for example, for students who want to feminize their voices, the first thing they always say is that I think my voice is too deep. I want to like raise my pitch. I want to raise my pitch
Okay, we
higher.
did it.
Yeah. Hey, hey,
Okay.
hey. Okay, so now here's the thing. If you want a feminine voice, it's not about having your pitch higher. It's about two things. All right. For all the lips, all the lips. All
Yes.
right. You
Period.
ready to take some notes? Okay. So the first thing that if you want to feminize your voice is you have to learn how to soften your voice. Basically, kind of speak like this. Notice how my voice is kind of more gentle and soft. Miss Mouthy, can you say this phrase for me? How are you doing in a softer voice?
How are you doing in a softer?
Bam! Ding, ding, ding. I don't have a ding, but you got the ding right here.
Oh, there you go.
So once again, this is what I mean by a function. You got the function. You can do it. It's just a matter of, kind of doing it.
Yeah.
Amazing. So that's number one. Number two is make your voice very, very bright. Kind of like this. Miss Mouthy, can you kind of pretend like you're a valley girl and say, "Oh my God, that is so crazy."
Oh my god, that is so crazy.
Ding, 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 right there. Ding, ding, ding.
I got you.
Okay, so now here's the trick. We gotta combine them together. So the sound is really soft, but then it's also very bright. So
Mm.
you combine them together, so it's both very bright, but at the same time, very soft. So that is how you achieve a feminine voice. So notice how it is not about pitch. Let me give you some examples. Rihanna, ooh, raspy and low pitch, right? But
Mhm.
very feminine. Oprah, very, very kind of low pitch, but still very feminine. So
Mhm.
I would say, because kind of learning these kind of objective truth about what makes us feminine and masculine, that helps people kind of deal with their dysphoria.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is so true that you said that, and you just ate down when you combine the 2 together. I just want you to know that. Um, so in voices in that way, what has been the best way that people can, I guess, protect their voices or um in ways to keep practicing outside of the 12 weeks? Let's say the 12 weeks is over. They may not have reached where they want to be. Do they come get more classes from you or do they just keep rehearsing what you have taught them and then they will eventually achieve that?
Yeah, students can really choose however they want to walk this journey and how they want to involve Trans Voice Lab.
Yeah.
What we can absolutely walk the entire journey with the student, and the voice is an ongoing process.
Mhm.
I'm sure Beyonce is still taking voice lessons.
No,
So if
seriously.
she is taking voice lessons, we got to take the voice lessons.
You right.
But then at the same time, some students maybe once they understand the knowledge and they have the abilities to do it, maybe they just want to kind of experiment it themselves. So that's also okay too. Now, for students who uh, who needs to build that functionality, that ability, then I would say in those cases, yes, we definitely would recommend to continue the lessons until the student has at least achieved the abilities to do them.
Okay, Jimmy, this might sound, I don't know, but it had caught me, right? Like, um, I am seeing the whole K-pop. I don't even want to say a trend, but it's been something now where I have heard voices that I knew was of a different ethnicity, and it was like, wow, I was shocked and amazed. Do you think that's part of learning how to do your voice techniques and the things that you're teaching folks?
Yeah, yeah. Let me see if I understood you kind of correctly. Kind of, are you saying like kind of learning the gender expressions is kind of like learning a new language?
Yeah, like, so I'm gonna just be frank. I have seen some Asian individuals sing soulful songs better than the original artist. So that is kind of what I'm saying. And it's breaking stereotypes of all kinds. But a lot of times when I'm seeing a voice come out of someone's body, even on American Idol, you see it to where somebody a talk their regular talking voice is one way, but then when they sing, it's so much grander or bigger than what they presented just a second ago.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because going back to kind of the technical training of
Mhm.
kind of the gender expressions. Gender expressions is like learning how to sing a specific genre,
Yeah.
whether it's rock or R&B. It utilizes different expressions, right? Once again, it's like expressions. But in our lessons, we're trying to learn the abilities to do the things that can change your expressions so that you can speak like this,
Okay.
like this, and like this, or like this, however way you want to do it, right? It's about
Eating it.
changing the voice. So that is why uh, I also teach some voice actors
Okay.
too.
Okay.
The same thing. So the approach is exactly like what a singer goes through,
Yeah.
because the voice is the voice. It's the same thing. It's just about learning different expressions. Yeah.
I love that. So, does the lab offer virtual tutorials? Like what do people need to do, or we have to be based in your city to get this greatness?
Ooh, no, I teach all of the world. I have students from
Okay.
China, the Philippines, Germany,
Love that.
Europe, UK, everywhere. That is the beauty of, virtual lessons. And another thing is that uh, not only is virtual lessons more convenient, I actually prefer teaching online because, I mean, come on, everybody,
Yeah.
what are we still doing in person for? Unless it's necessary, I guess.
Yeah.
But virtual offers another opportunity, which is a sense of safety.
Yes.
I teach students when they're literally hiding in their closets,
Okay. Yes.
where so that they don't have to answer their parents. Where are you going?
Mhm.
Where are you going? I have taught students who took lessons in their car in the garage,
Yeah.
so that they feel more comfortable. So you can take lessons anywhere as long as you're comfortable.
I love that so
Yeah.
much. Okay.
And another thing, actually, I'm so glad you asked me this because at the end of May, I'm actually also releasing a digital course so that students can learn the knowledge. I
You can these
know.
reels, honey. Go ahead.
So that students can learn the knowledge at their own pace at a much affordable kind of price.
Yeah.
And also for students who maybe kind of doubting, is this really going to work?
Yeah.
They can just kind of get a sense. And I guarantee you, I'm going to convince you that it's going to work.
No, I love that because we need that resource. It wasn't long before I was deep into my transition that somebody
Mm.
had said like, "Oh yeah, you could get the surgery and da da da." And I'm just a girl that's terrified of surgeries, but to
Mm.
even hear this option is something that would have been more feasible. And what happened is I just took an approach of people making fun of my voice, like they did my lips and all the other things, and I just try and put it in a way. that'll work out in my best favor. Like, I have to like what
Mm,
I can't change, but knowing that I could change it had the options or the resources been out there now, I probably still wouldn't have changed it. Like, I just learned how to cope and be fine, but for the people, I love that this is gonna be a resource that's out there for them to gauge because I know how important it is.
absolutely. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I think about voice surgery, I don't know, it's a little scary, huh?
Yeah, no, for real. It is, and especially if I've done all that and I still haven't felt like I mastered where I wanted to be in my voice. And so for me, I was just like, okay, if they keep saying the voice is feminine, and then when I arrived my transition to match my voice, I was like, oh well, it's gonna be just fine. Eat it up. And that's how
Mhm.
a podcast came up. So
Mm.
now I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
one of those distinctive voices that people. One day I was at a restaurant and they was like, "Is you Miss Mouthy?" And I was like, "Wait, what?
Ooh.
How do you
You
know
know,
me?"
I really wish everybody can be the way, you really embrace how your voice sounds. I think that is the perfect, like, the perfect place to arrive to.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, "Oh, yeah, my voice sounds like this, and I don't have to change it because the society tells me I have to be
Mhm.
one or the
Mhm.
other. But if I want to, there is the option, and if I want to change my voice, nobody's gonna give a shit about it. It's 'cause it's
At
my
all.
personal journey."
You know what's one of the this is like a hidden secret of mine that nobody knows.
Oh,
One
okay.
I love people with, how do you say it, a lisp? Yes,
Oh.
I think that is so, like, my ear pick up on it, and it just does something to my soul. I think it's just so beautiful when
It's
people
like a
speak like that, like, yeah.
it's like a constant ASMR, I guess.
Yeah, like, I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Okay, yay." Um,
Mm. I know, right? But unfortunately, the way our world is, especially in the
mhm,
current moment,
yes,
you kind of have to be either or. I have been getting more students who they told me their goal is not they are okay with their voice, but
mhm,
they are looking for safety.
yeah.
Mm.
And that is real as well. I do understand how people are now going back to stealth mode in order to protect themselves in the climate. I also wanted to ask a question because a lot of our people are not of the binary or they be two spirited. What type of advice would you have for them, if any?
Uh, well, in terms of the voice, my advice for androgynous or non-binary or anything in between is that the pros, I guess, if you want to put it that way, the
Mhm.
pros is that you can really explore it however way you want.
I love that.
So maybe you can have your voice a little bit softer, but maybe you have a more masculine kind of end of inflection.
Mhm.
Or maybe you have a more feminine inflection, but maybe you have a more masculine tone. It's kind of however way you want to do it.
I love that.
So that's the freedom. However, everything has the opposite side. Every blessing has its challenges.
Mhm. Mhm.
The challenge is because it's so free, then at which point is it that is the voice the real you?
Yeah.
There is no answer. And when we don't have a vision of who we want to kind of be, sometimes that can bring people some anxiety, dysphoria.
Yeah.
So this is really, really crucial. Actually, also for kind of the more or binary people, right?
Yeah.
When we are learning a voice, we must have an inspiration. A Because our voice is the result of our mental concepts. It's the mental concepts of how your accents, your pitch variation, these kind of habits of how we kind of do things. In order to change these mental concepts of how we use our voices, we must have something that we maybe imitate first.
Yes.
If the lips if you guys love to sing, I'm sure you guys have singers that you're like, "Oh, wow, I would love to sound like him or her or they, whoever." That's the inspiration that inspires us kind of to be, kind of that. Same thing with our voices. We must have like a go voice, right? If you put it that
Yeah.
way, that you aim for, whether that's Regina George from Mean Girls
Mhm.
or some or Oprah or whoever. So for non-binary people, that becomes a little bit more challenging. So you guys kind of have to find your own path and stay strong and committed to this own path.
Okay, so now you just made me want to go places. Give me your top 3 people voices that you remember either as a kid or now that, you either felt like you emulated or you really valued.
Number one, Whitney Houston. And then you know what? I'm so glad you asked me this. Because this actually relate back to the earlier topic where I said everything is a mental concept. So
Mhm.
growing up, I love powerful black diva singings.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
I just so powerful, so wow. I mean,
yeah.
so growing up, I wanted to emulate those kind of voices.
Mhm.
Now, here's the thing about Whitney's her voice. Her voice is powerful, and it also has a little bit of a nasality into it, like
Mhm.
and like that kind of that kind of
Yeah.
voice. So growing up, I interpreted that as power. I
Mhm.
associate that nasal sound with power. So when I was younger, whenever I increase my volume, I go like this. That's how I increase my volume.
Mhm.
And for the longest time, but that's actually not the way you increase your volume. You increase your volume actually by doing like this. That's how you actually increase the volume without going too much details into it.
Okay.
So when I started professionally training as a vocalist, I had to kind of rewire my brain and keep telling myself, when I go louder, it's not nasality, it is this. It is not
Mhm.
this, it is this, and constantly kind of tell myself, kind of rewire it. So similarly in the voice lessons, it's about kind of relearn. Okay, when you want this, you actually do this, and kind of
Yes.
kind of learn kind of these habits. So yeah, so Whitney Houston, the second voices that really kind of made a difference, at least. Let me share a voice that really helped me find my feminine voice, and that's Regina George from Mean Girls,
Okay, okay.
because she is so extra. When you are learning a new gender expressions, I highly recommend all of you guys to find someone who's so over the top. I was half a virgin when I first met him. That's a legit a line that Regina
Mhm.
George says. So because this way you can really understand what is the kind of the patterns, the variations
Yeah.
that makes this person feminine. Same thing with a masculine voice. Maybe a person like Arnold, I don't know, Schwarzenegger. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of imitate them. These like hyper unrealistic masculine voices. Now, certainly you don't have to speak like that, but it's about understanding the patterns because once again, it's an expression.
Yes.
Yeah.
My 3 was what's funny is I used to like my mom voice when she would code switch on the phone with bill collectors or business professional folks. So
Okay.
that was the one.
Mhm.
Then when she was in her juice, Eartha Kitt, she would always do Eartha Kitt growl. And so that was like, I have to find out where my mom got this from. And then
Mhm.
lastly, it's always been Miss Piggy. And so yeah,
Miss Piggy. Okay.
yeah,
Very.
yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm curious. Do you Do you notice whether you and your mom have a similar maybe inflection, meaning like kind of the tempo, the yeah, the inflections?
Yeah, I feel like we do at moment. Yeah, definitely when it's like I think me and my mom are speakers through emotion, where
Mhm.
like, people voices mimic on however they feeling in the moment. So I feel like that is one thing me and her share in pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, once again, right? So it's a pattern. So we can almost think of gender as accent. There is like a feminine accent and there's a masculine
Mhm.
accent.
Yeah.
I think the easiest kind of one to kind of to observe is the pitch variation. Like feminine speakers, when they speak, the pitch kind of have goes up and down, and the more varied you do, the more feminine you sound. Whereas masculine speakers, the pitch is definitely a lot more monotonic.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why languages that are tonal, such as Chinese, Vietnamese, or Thai, many times people think that they are very, very feminine, or Cantonese, is because literally the language is tonal. It goes up and down.
Okay.
But languages such as Russian is a little bit more kind of monotonic, and German, a little bit kind of,
Yeah.
even pitches. And if we actually think about the personalities, like I guess the stereotypical personalities of a Russian and a German person, they're kind of little stern, a little colder, a little kind of maybe macho,
Yeah.
right? So and then and similarly when we think about Asian, right? We think about, oh, they're kind of sensitive, they're tender, softer. And I do think that these kind of stuff reflects in the culture, which also reflects in the language too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay, so here, Jimmy, we do pearls of wisdom. And so we like to leave our listeners and young folks with some advice. You've given us a lot of beautiful pearls of wisdom. But if there is a young person that's currently maybe struggling with their voice and finding how to get out of their voice dysphoria, what advice would you have for them?
My advice would be this. First, there are ways, there are solutions out there. It's possible. Many people have done it, so it's possible for you too. Uh, with me specifically as a vocal coach, I have 100% success rate. There's
Yes.
not one voice that I cannot teach. It's just a matter of time.
Hmm.
So it's possible. Because I know that there are people out there. I have so many people who leave comments on my TikTok and Instagram saying that I can't do this. This is impossible. This will never happen to me. It never happens to you simply because you don't have the correct guidance, right? Everybody needs teacher. So number one, it's possible. Number two, if the voice truly is something that you value, or the voice is giving you a lot of dysphoria, anxiety, and distress, you have to take actions. Whether that is start watching YouTube shorts or different videos, you have to take some sort of form of actions. But the form of actions that truly can make a difference is take voice lessons. Because the voice, well, anything in life, you cannot learn things by yourself. You need a teacher. That's how life works. We're all the product of the wealth our ancestors give us.
Yeah.
Some have more, some have less. But you cannot do this in your own. That's why if you have the financial resources, take lessons. Yeah.
Yeah.
The third thing, surgeries is your personal choice. Whether you do surgery, vocal surgeries, I mean, is it's absolutely up to your personal preference, but it is not necessary. And I say this with a hint of caution for people who want to do surgery, because once again, the voice is an expression, it is an emotion. Vocal surgery, what vocal surgery does is, for if you want to feminize your voice, the surgeon kind of shave a little bit of the vocal folds, kind of a little bit off, so that it becomes a little kind of thinner. And that's what's going to help you soften your voice. That's a result of kind of vocal surgery. Now, number one, you can do it by learning the technique, like I just showed you, and like Miss Mouthy just demonstrated
Demonstrating.
earlier.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah. Number two, that changes the tone of your voice, but it does not change your expression and your inflection. So, meaning that if you want to have a full kind of gendered voice, you have to take voice lessons. So at the end of the day, whether you want to do vocal surgeries or not, it's kind of up to each individual's personal comfort, but it's not necessary. So yeah.
Thank you. I would say for the lips, pearls of wisdom, that the voice within, it is going to be a point where the voiceless become the boisterous. And when you get ready to speak and you open your mouth for what's important to you or what's for you, you want to make sure that you present yourself to the world in a way that everybody takes command to what you have to say, whether it's higher or lower, whether it's loud or softer. Say what you mean what you say, and say it with all declaration. That for the young folks is what I want because when I watch y'all speak up and shout out and stand up and fight back, y'all make some very valid points and y'all make a girl like me very happy. So, that is what I think is amazing. So, Jimmy, how did you find the Miss Mouthy podcast? Let's get to it.
Well, okay, I was on Spotify and I was looking for, okay, let me break it down. I was looking for trans excellence. That's what
Oh,
I was looking for.
thank you.
We need to be excellent, guys. The trans community. I'm gonna be the tough Asian mom for a little bit, okay? We gotta be so excellent. We gotta thrive and excel. Just like what you said, we gotta speak and raise our voices
Yeah.
so that we are so unignorable.
Hmm.
Cannot be ignored, cannot be denied. And so I was looking for trans excellence, and I found and I thought you were you're so hilarious, and I
Oh,
love
thank you.
hilarious people. So yeah, so that's how I
Period.
found you.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So that's great. Again, tell them all about the digital lessons that's going to be available, the book, and all the things on how they can find you and keep up with you.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube at Trans Voice Lab, all one word, no space, at Trans Voice Lab. And then you guys can also visit my website, transvoice-lab.com, where you can find, learn more about our amazing missions and what we have accomplished and the services that we offer, such as private lessons. We have a book that's coming out. It's called Owning Your Voice, a trans guide to shaping and finding your voice. This is everything that you need to know about how to transform your voice. And of course, we have a digital course for students who want to kind of, study this at your own. I mean, I'm so excited about what Trans Voice Lab is gonna, what we will accomplish for the rest of 2025. We're partnering with many majors LGBTQ organizations around the country. We're
Love that.
collaborating with different hospitals, just trying to spread this knowledge out because it really works and it's not that hard. That's the key.
I love that so much. Thank you for
Yeah.
taking the time out to educate myself, come speak the truth, give people some options. And we definitely going to have you back here at the Miss Mouthy podcast because you're awesome.
I had a blast today. You just let me know and I'll be down to hang.
I got you. I got you, period. It's your girl, Miss Mouthy, the one and only. Even when you what? Don't see me, you hear me. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.